Let's watch the fourth video. What's the Bible say about Christian liberty? This one's about the same length as the third one we just watched. Okay, so you guys ready? Here we go. Short questions, short answers by Torah teacher Ariel and eBible. Yeah, I did it, they did it, we did it together. We answered this question together, all right? Let's take a look at this particular question. What does the Bible say about Christian liberty? eBible's question, and here's my answer. Here's our first passage. For freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. That's Galatians 5:1, rendered from the ESV, and that's the verse we read in our liturgy for tonight. And this is the question. What exactly is the slavery that Paul speaks of here? We know that to be in Messiah is to be truly free. We can recall Yeshua, Jesus' declaration from John 8:36, where he says, "If the Son, therefore, shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed." That's rendered from the King James Version. I like that rendering. How is it then that these Galatian Gentiles wish to return to the slavery that marked their former manner of life? Why would they want to do that? Can't they see that anything less than a complete commitment to the true gospel is not good news at all and will eventually result in slavery? Why are their eyes so blinded? As is to be expected, historic Christianity interprets the slavery of verse 1 as a return to Judaism, a return to living in the confines of Torah observance or law observance, a return to Sabbaths, keeping kosher, keeping the feasts, and of course that painful commandment called circumcision. So according to traditional Christian theology, obedience to Torah is equal to bondage. You can see my little graphic there of the guy with the big weight of Torah on his back and bondage over him as a Torah scroll. However, when we go back and study the historical and sociological context of the book of Galatians more closely, we're going to discover that the standard Christian interpretation of this verse doesn't actually fit with Paul's view of Torah, and most importantly, it does not follow from the scriptural view of the Torah. What is the biblical view of Torah? When we read it, here's what we're going to find. The Torah is not bondage. Let me say that one more time. The Torah is not bondage. However, if one places their trust in ethnicity and or Torah obedience, then that person is truly a slave to their old nature, whether they know it or not. And that, of course, is something that we have to reckon with when we're reading through passages like this. The battle lines were actually being drawn not between the relevance of Torah versus the relevance of Yeshua, as I understand the passage. Rather, the lines were being drawn between the necessity of Jewish identity for covenant inclusion versus the necessity of falling on the mercy and grace of Messiah for genuine covenant membership and forgiveness of sins. You understand that? There's a contest. We have to decide in our interpretation what the contest was, and therefore we can make a practical application once we figured out the background behind the text and the context of what Paul is actually writing about and why he described the contest the way he did.